water's edge. All my sins, they are forgiven. I'm not waiting till I'm dead to live in joy. Yeah, I'm gonna live in joy. Gonna live in joy, joy, joy. Gonna live in joy. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Earth below and sky above. I'm not waiting to get to heaven. Share my joy, oh, give my love, I'm gonna share my joy. Yeah, I'm gonna share my joy. Gonna share my joy, joy, joy. Gonna share my joy. It don't matter where I ramble. It don't matter where I roam. For this joy is always with me, and this love is my home. Oh, what joy! Oh, oh, what joy! Oh, what joy, joy, joy! Oh, what 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 joy!
Hello there, and welcome to this guided meditation with the purpose of connecting to the energy of work and the life force that it brings. Before we begin, I invite you to gently close your eyes and take a nice, slow, deep breath in, deeper than you've taken all day. And as you exhale, focus on the sound of my voice, allowing it to ground you into the current moment. Bring all your energy from your mind down to your heart center and allow it to rest there as we glide through this meditation. Just as your breath has an inhale and an exhale, so too has life an inhale and exhale. There is a period where you will feel very inner, and that perhaps everything feels slower paced. Then proceeding from that, there will be a period where things move more quickly perhaps, and you feel God's energy flow through you in a very expansive way. It will feel like a period of action and perhaps an increased workflow as your energy expands. When you flow with God's current of God's river, you will glide through life, eternally feeling good and connected to Source itself. Spend as much time as you feel guided to meditating on this. And now, as we begin to close this meditation, take a deep breath in and allow your body to fully expand with new life. And once you reach the peak of that inhale, allow it to delicately exhale with a sigh. Feel the prana, the life force energy moving through you. As your breath returns to its natural flow, begin to rotate your shoulders and move your fingers and toes. And softly open your eyes back to the world around you. Namaste.
Hey everyone, I'm Mina and I'm super happy to be back for another card reading. And today we're going to use the Oracle Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. And I feel called to use this deck because it's very divine. It has a very uplifting energy. It's very loving and inspiring as well. So I have already pulled the cards and we're going to go ahead and begin. So the first card is Answer the Call. What is your soul calling you to do? And there's a person sitting here. She's in a very relaxed energy. She's looking at this landscape. The first thing that comes to mind for me is like there's lots of layers. It's a very expansive landscape and the sun is coming out over here. So there's this energy of contemplation. I feel like she's investing time in getting to know her possibilities. There's infinite possibilities, and she has like this. There's also like a waterfall, a lot of like water energy, and like this kind of like whimsical energy. And what this tells me is that with the question, what is your soul calling you to do? This is an invitation from God to for ourselves to ask that question, but not only do it now, today in this card reading, but it's almost like an invitation to have that as a lifestyle, you know? God is telling us that it's really important for us to honor ourselves and respect ourselves and find for more and more opportunities where we can really have joy and fulfill our desires, because you know our desires are God's desires for us. And if I feel like God is telling us, if we are not enjoying ourselves and enjoying our lives and enjoying every single part, every single corner of our reality, we can ask ourselves, like, what would you rather be doing? And then take the steps, you know that it is safe for us to pursue, embody, embrace that kind of like joyful lifestyle. It's almost like a dance with God, you know, if you really embrace that partnership and you really connect with your soul desires and with your heart desires and you make decisions from there. That's your best way to approach life. Yeah, this is very interesting, and I like how there's like this also this component of faith, like relaxed faith and peace, I guess. You know, I feel like God is telling us, look for peace and recognize peace in every space, every area of your life. And if you're not experiencing that, ask yourself, how can I get more of my peace, you know, and what changes do I have to make? Okay, so second card is Soul Family. I love the symmetry in this card. It says, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. Yeah, this is beautiful because this goes along with the other card. I feel like God is telling us here. It's kind of like we're going deeper into this partnership with God, with life, with love. Um, I feel like this is like, as you get clear in what is it that makes you joy, what is it that your soul is calling you to do, when you take steps towards that, you will open up to receive more love, and in every area of your life, you know, divine friendships, twin flame relationship, collaboration with life, you know, everybody wins when you're happy. It's not, I feel like this is also this message of you don't have to sacrifice yourself, you know, to make other people happy. That's not the way to do it. The happier you are, the more peaceful you are. You become a role model for everybody around you. And obviously, if you don't fill your own cup, you really don't have anything to give. So I feel like this is a kind of like following up from the first card, is as you prioritize yourself and as you do what fulfills you, what makes you happier and more joyful, everybody wins. So I also feel like this is an invitation to ask more, you know, to really expand in your desires, and know that you don't have to pick between being financially abundant, or, you know, have luck in love. That's kind of like what society teaches us. But with God, that's not how it operates. It's not, you know, it's like you're encouraged to ask for more and more and keep expanding. And that's the best thing with God. You're always, always, always expanding. So remember that you're not alone. You're part of a team, and allow yourself also to collaborate in those partnerships and really magnetize, you know, the right people, miracles, and love in all its forms. So because when you're part of the team, you know, when you really work together with your brothers and sisters, with your twin flame, with God, the whole world gets better. So I feel like this is also about relaxing a little bit more and allowing yourself to be more supported, and not being afraid of asking for that support and claiming for that support. Yeah, it's definitely an energy of connection, allowing yourselves to connect deeper with love, ultimately, right? God and everyone through God, and everything through God. Okay, so the third card is Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. There's a woman here. She's walking on a path. It's almost like I feel like she's entering heaven on earth here, leaving all the darkness behind and walking towards the light, towards union, towards love. This is again a beautiful progression of the cards. There's some like the pyramids, and like a lot of like very, again, high frequency energy and elements. And this person is walking confidently towards the gates of heaven on earth. I feel like, to me, what this says is it is safe to trust. It is safe to trust your heart, your soul calling. It's safe to trust your partnerships. It is safe to trust God. You know, every decision that you make from the heart, connected to your soul desires, is the right decision, is a decision made with God. So in that sense, it's very safe and very encouraged for you to really embrace the faith. You know, the concept of faith is kind of like believing blindly that you're moving in the right direction, which is the divine direction. And also remember that God talks to us through our feelings. So it's important to really feel into all our feelings without numbing out, without brushing it off, and letting it guide you, and trusting that that's God speaking through you. And this is also a card that, you know, I feel like this is a card of like reassurance, you know, so you know that you're doing great. If, you know, as a unionist, this is like kind of like your philosophy in life. And as long as that is your philosophy with, you know, in your life, as long as you're really welcoming more and more and more God and love into every areas of your life, you're completely safe. And God is actually celebrating you, celebrating your progress. And I feel like here is also important because this card, if you look down here, it's kind of like black and white and kind of like sad. And this is like the colorful. I feel like God is saying, hey, stop for a second too, and, you know, look, recognize everything that you've done so far, everything that you've accomplished through making, you know, decisions to claim love, claim more union, and claim, you know, God into your life. So yeah, always remember to look back, notice how much you've grown and learned and evolved, because, you know, harmonious twin flame union and perfect union is a process, it's a journey. And you're, by every choice that you make to you know, receive love and to claim love, you're increasing your vibration, and you're kind of like integrating that energy and revealing, you know, getting rid of like the veils and layers that were keeping you from really living your heaven on earth and really having a, you know, like your perfect life. So yeah, I feel like very reassuring message. And it's all about really following your heart and listening to the voice of God inside your heart, and having that as a philosophy. You know, as a unionist, it's important to really practice that lifestyle. Okay, so that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you keep enjoying the sermon. See you next time.
Hello everyone, I'm Marisol. Welcome to the Church of Union Sunday service. Today I will introduce you the sermon with Jose and Micaela about surrendering to God and surrendering to the flow of life in your twin flame journey. I think this is a good topic to talk about because before becoming a unionist, all my life I was resisting to the flow of life. And although I am very sensitive to the energy in general, I didn't even understand why sometimes I had more energy and sometimes not. And I thought that it was always my problem because I didn't know that the universe works like breathing, like inhale and exhale. And for example, when I needed to do something important in my work, but the flow of life asked me to rest, and I didn't rest, I didn't feel well, and I didn't have enough energy to do it. And I got frustrated all the time. And I was resisting the flow all the time. And this is also happened because I was not living my life purpose. I was resisting my purpose and denying my soul design. And I felt separated from God. And when you do that, it's really difficult for you to surrender. And life is painful and you are frustrated most of the time. And that is something I was experiencing in my last job. I was working on a bank and the clients were used to get their problem solved quickly. Even if you cannot do it in that moment, it doesn't matter. And they are always right and they have their savings in the bank, so they want a quick response for their problems, and it's logical. But it was a very stressful job, and this was really hard for me to surrender to the flow in that moment. But when I became to the community and began to study the teachings of union, and when I started to do my inner work, surrendering was something I need to learn. But when I really learned how to surrender to the flow was last year, because on November I finally quit my job and started as a coach. And I think that all the community was experiencing the same energy. We all were in the flow of resting. I could feel the contrast because I wanted to start my business, but I didn't have enough energy to do it. And I really need to rest because I spent the whole year healing the abscess with my job, healing the abscess within my union, and the abscess in my life purpose, and resting after quitting my job was something I needed to do. It was necessary for me to relax and be prepared for the next cycle. And yeah, the next cycle came, and I found myself all full of energy again to start with my business, to make videos and get clients. And when I claimed for more love in my life, a trauma was coming up and I have to go through MAP. And in the first week after my MAP session, I experienced a decrease in my energy, and I have to be honest with myself and recognize, like, okay, this is normal in the MAP healing process, so take it easy, do your best, don't force yourself, just be patient. And so I did. That was another cycle for me to rest, and I had to relax and surrender to God, because God is in charge of me and He knows what is the best for me, and I needed to release that trauma in order to have more life in my life, and that is fine. And all these things are happening because I have to understand how to surrender to the flow of life and how to surrender to God. And this is my lesson now. And when I was working in the bank, I used my own energy in a different way. And as you know, I work from Monday to Friday, and most of the energy I have during the week went to my work, and I have the weekend to rest and recover myself. And that was the cycle every week, and sometimes was really upsetting and painful because I didn't respect the natural flow of the universe, and I was against the flow all the time, and I was exhausting most of the time. And that is not the way to use your energy properly, because your energy comes from God, and when you do what God guides you or God requires you, you have unlimited energy to do it. But now my life purpose is completely different, and something I learned in the teachings of Union was surrendering to God and releasing control. Because my mind wants to control everything and in every moment, and when you try to control something in your ascension path or something in your life or something in your union with your twin flame, you spend so much energy on it. And control needs so much energy, and when you try to control anything, you are wasting your energy, and that's not worthy at all. And this is completely true. Your energy comes from God. God knows when you are ready to work more and when you need to rest. And this is the lesson I am learning now, because in my business I would like to have more clients. And although I am doing what God guides me to do, to support my clients, I need to grow in my spiritual energy. And when I claim for more energy, sometimes that request comes with a lot of blocks that are in my consciousness, and they need to be healed first and removed by putting more love on those spaces in order to be able to maintain the energy that I claim. And I was experienced that in January and February, like I was full of energy to do what I need to do, and suddenly the trauma arises and need to rest. And now after a few weeks, I am full of energy again. And this week I am like, okay, God, I don't know how I'm going to do what you want me to do, because I think for me it's a lot of work, but I have to surrender and release my resistance and clear the blocks and just flow. And you also have to keep in mind that you also have healing cycles in your journey, no matter where, if you are in the energy cycle or in the rest cycle. Your healing is not the same all the time, and you are going to experience weeks with multiple blocks coming up, and weeks where you feel more peaceful inside and outside. Those cycles you also need to take care of and be compassionate with yourself. Now I leave you with Jose and Micaela, and I invite you to donate or tithe to continue to help us spread the message of Unionism to the world. And your donations and tithes help us to produce these sermons that reach far and wide. Thank you for joining us, and I will see you at the end.
Hi everyone, I'm Jose.
And I'm Michaela. Welcome back to another Church of Union Sunday sermon. Please join us for the opening Ohms and the opening prayer.
I am the only child of God, forever part of Him. I am created by Him in perfection, and there I always remain. My mind is my sanctuary, where I keep His holy creation sacred. I will only allow in His voice. I will only accept His word.
Today I will hear the word of God. I surrender myself to His teachings through His divine channel. I will honor what He has spoken and accept it as His will. I will be obedient to His word, for this is my salvation.
In Christ's name, Amen. So,
welcome back. We are excited to talk today about a couple of things. We want to talk about the basic, the process and the flow of life, and how God is your energy source for all that you do. And something that came up recently within our community, which is surrendering to your destiny and no longer resisting your purpose, basically. And something that I've been personally learning on my journey is that, I've heard this throughout Life Purpose class. Jeff and Shaleia talk about it a lot, about how life kind of has an ebb and a flow, or the way that Jeff describes it in Twin Flame Ascension School and Life Purpose class is that life has an inhale and an exhale. And he talks about how once he asked God how the universe works, and God showed him like breathing, basically, like there's an inhale and then there's an exhale. And I feel like, especially in the last 3 years since we've been together, I've been really experiencing that, how there's always an inhale period of life and then an exhale. There's always like an action-oriented, like outer, more expressive like cycle, and then it always comes back into a more inner, like kind of like rest or downtime. And you even see that in the seasons, like with summer and winter, and at this time we are going into the summer season, which is a very external, outer, expressive season traditionally. And I know that we've been experiencing a big push in our purpose too, like big push. We've been very busy, a lot of active work. And so this is something I've been learning a lot, is about really surrendering to that flow and surrendering to those times when you're in an external, like expressive exhale period of your journey, when you're called to really express what you've been learning, share it, and how for us it manifested as just suddenly projects, you finishing school, just like being completely fully booked and just having suddenly like an abundance of things to do.
All at the same time.
All at once.
Yeah.
Whereas like the last 2 months of the year, like December and January, or no, November and December, basically, were very calm for us, and we didn't have much going on, and I felt like I was in a kind of like a rest period, and I remember thinking like, is there something wrong? But I remember this topic coming up a lot throughout Twin Flame Ascension School and Life Purpose class, that if God is calling you to rest and be inner, then don't resist that, because God knows that something is coming next, and it's usually like a big explosion, of work that definitely happened to us. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool that you can see this cycle in, in really everything in your life. You can see this in your life purpose work. You can see like all of this, like lots of work and then lots of rest, this cycle, and also in your spiritual path. And this is why normally before a breakthrough, you have, you feel more like contracted and more pushed to the limit, just before you break through something. And I think for us, like one of the lessons that we have been learning is one of the most known LPC principles, that God is your source of energy. Because all of these things cannot be done alone. You cannot be doing, you cannot do this with your energy. You cannot be giving of your limited pool from energy. And I think this is one of my major takeaways from this period of our life, because this is a concept that, at least for me at the beginning, when I heard it from Jeff and Shaleia for the first time, like, your energy comes from God. And I was like, that sounds cool, but like the practical aspect, like how does it look like? Because yeah, I get the idea that God gives you energy, but how do you get that? Like, how do you access all of that energy? And I guess for us, like now, with all of these things happening in our life, I realize that it's something supernatural. Is like you used to it and the energy comes to you because you are doing what God is asking you to do. And that is the key, I think, is you don't resist the flow, you don't push against it, and you receive the energy for that. And you can see this when God calls you to do something, and you can manifest everything you need is there for you. You have the energy, the time normally opens up. If you need some resources to do something, they appear in your life if you are doing the healing work. And you can see that you are always provided for in your life. And yeah, that's what it means. Like you always get the energy from God and energy in any way that is needed for you. And I think for me, I want to share a very cool experience I had with this period in our life. Because before this happened, I remember feeling like we are kind of, maxed out. We are like in our, we are good. I don't think I can do more, really. And oh my God, I was wrong. I was thinking maybe, that's my limit. But it was my limit in this moment. And your limit can change. And after all of these things coming up at once, and especially me finishing school, which has been it has been a challenge because it's a lot of hours, like school itself, and then a lot of hours of our business and other things we do. So it has been a lot of like nights of sleeping less and being like very like doing things all day long, staying awake, and it has definitely pushed my energy. But after only a few days, I noticed that my energy was growing. I was feeling more joyful. I was like doing a lot. I wasn't stopping. And something within me was kind of opening up, like more energy, more joy, more purpose. I knew that this came because we are manifesting things very quick, so things are coming fast. And I had this experience recently where I have a lot of work and I have also some exams that I needed to attend, and that requires a lot of study for me. And normally we sleep like good, we have like enough energy during our day. And in this situation, I didn't sleep like anything during one day. I sleep 3 hours, a lot of work the next day. And then in that next day, before the exam, I feel guided to just study. And that night, I didn't sleep at all. And this is not sustainable. This is not something
It's
you
not
should do.
recommended.
Not recommended, but it was a cool experience I had, and I actually feel guided to, finish the exam and then you sleep after because it's important that you pass it now. And I remember after a night of sleeping 3 hours and then a day of not sleeping, it was 9 a.m. After all of that, I was so energized. I didn't know how. I was like walking around the home, doing things, preparing for it. And I was like, wow, like the energy is really there for me. And it was there because I really chose to do that. And God provided the energy for me and the space. And yeah, it was very cool to see how all of that energy came out of nowhere because there was purpose on me passing that. There was purpose of me completing that part of my life because it is crucial for us to move forward and, for example, move or change our life. That has to be finished before. And because there is purpose on it and I didn't resist it, it didn't feel bad for me. It actually flowed very easily. I had fun with it. And also, God, after I did this, I received a lot of time to rest the next day. Just the moment I did what needed to be done, I collapsed. And it was perfect. I got the rest I needed. But I think part of why it was so easy is because I didn't resist the process. I know that God is not calling me to not sleep. I had never done that. So it was something that came up for my experience, and I think this is very important for everyone taking this journey. It's not going to look the same every day, and it is safe to relax into that because you can see this when you apply this work. There is a lot of things that can come up, or challenges, or things you need to attend, And yeah, it's safe to relax in how your life looks like in the moment, knowing that yeah, God is in charge of your life. And this is the topic of today's sermon, is knowing that God is in charge of your life and you are not. You can just resist it or flow with it.
And
Yeah.
flowing with it is what brings you joy.
Yeah.
And resisting it is what makes you unhappy and miserable. Yeah. There was a Twin Flame Ascension school class that I watched where Jeff, it felt like, as always, like Jeff and Shaleia were speaking directly to us. And Jeff said in this class, like, there will be times in your life when there's just so much work and so many projects, and then more, and then more, and then more, and then more. And then you're just totally surrendered and you tell God, like, this is too much. Like, why? Like, and God will always tell you, like, then give it to me. Like, let me do it, you know, and it's God who does it through you. And yeah, that's true. Whenever you go with the flow and you do what you're called to do in every moment, you receive the energy and you feel good doing it. Even if maybe you got a little less sleep or a lot less sleep or or maybe it's not, I don't know, like it's just about being in the flow with God. And something that you'll learn, you know, throughout this work is that in every moment there's something you can be doing. There's something you are called to do by God, and it's doing that thing that is your happiness. Like it's not in avoiding work or avoiding being busy or avoiding having a lot of tasks or responsibilities. Like that's not how you get your rest. Rest comes from accomplishment. You know, it comes from being, you know, completing the work. It doesn't come from avoiding the work. And so yeah, I think that's something that also we wanted to talk about, is like not resisting that flow. Like if you are in a period of sprinting, you know, where we all come to those moments, then it's safe to just dive into that flow and just be there, be with it. And there's rest in that, you know, just being in that space. And yeah, like, and you know, God knows what you need. Like he's God, like whenever you're living in the flow with God, He will give you time for everything. Like there's a time for expression and action and working, and then God will give you time for resting and relaxing and playing, you know. And it's just about being in that flow and really trusting that God knows what's best for you.
Yeah, trusting that God knows better than you do what you need, because if you resist the flow, and this can be maybe you are resisting work and then that makes work feel heavy, but it's not work itself making, you know, you feel heavy, is you holding on to something and resisting the work that is in front of you in that moment. And also when you are called to rest, don't push against it. You just rest. Like you better rest, because if not, you are not going to be ready for the next wave of things if you don't take it now and relax and trust that, like if God is telling you to rest, He is not going to burn your house down the next day, you know, like you can rest. Like it's safe, but this God knows.
Not evil.
Yeah, it's not evil or a troll. Like you can relax actually, right? And every time you do that, you are taken care of, and everything is nice. And yeah, it may look different. It may look like you have a, you know, different maybe pace or lifestyle than others. And I think, yeah, like for us, maybe our lifestyle it
looks strange.
Looks weird.
Especially in the country that we live in.
Yeah, especially here, it looks a little different, right? And yeah, but it's safe to relax into how God is asking you to do things. Because yeah, if you're happy, like, that's what matters. And if you are actually getting the things done and doing them with joy, like, yeah, it doesn't matter how it looks like or how, you know, those cycles look like in your life. It's safe to follow them and relax into them. And it's fun. It's nice.
Yeah, and that's like, it's safe to, something we've also been learning is like embrace your purpose, embrace your design, embrace what you're called to do. And something that Shaleia mentioned in a group coaching class that we had, she said that when you stop resisting your destiny and you choose to just dive into it, like just doing that automatically resolves a lot of the blocks that you have to it. And I really felt that, because every time I'm like, if I'm resisting something, it feels so bad. You know, if you're avoiding something, it feels bad. And you think that, it's like, for me, it's like healing work in the world, you know, because when you're working in the world, it takes from you, it's basically slavery, you know, because you have to do it to survive, and if you don't do it, you're homeless, you know, so just like it's not a fun situation. But this journey, and especially like life purpose class and unionism, heals your relationship with your purpose and with work. And so me, like, I've had to heal that belief that working equals losing, you know, and like when you're working with God, working actually equals receiving and gaining even more energy. And and like I loved what Shaleia said there, is like, when you stop resisting your destiny, if your destiny is to, for example, share unionism with the world, then don't resist that, you know. And when you do resist it, you feel bad. You feel that like voice in your head and that little nagging feeling, you know, that says you're not doing the thing you should be doing right now.
And you feel stuck.
And you feel bad. But when you finally just do the thing, like, it fills you with joy. And it does help you automatically resolve a lot of the blocks that you were having, you know, because those blocks are, it's like you're stuck with them. But sometimes just going and doing the thing helps you work through them on their own. And that's how I got comfortable making videos, for example. Instead of just sitting and thinking about how much I don't want to do videos or working through them, I just did it. And then that's what, like, that healed it. And that, like, after the video, I'd feel so much better. You know, I'd feel like I worked through the upset. So.
Yeah, I remember when we came together, you kind of pushed me to do videos.
Oh, yeah. He was resistant.
I was resisting it. You know, I was like moving through feelings and fears and stuff. But yeah, of course you move through them, right? But you don't wait until you feel you are perfect to do it. It's like, okay, you do it. And the moment we did the first video, I was like, I like that. That's good. Let's do more, you know? And you heal it by doing the thing. And this is why life purpose is so healing. And this is something I love about, like this work. Like, it's very, you know, like grounded, and you take action steps that you are constantly moving your life and doing things. And in that process of doing things, you are doing your healing. You are healing constantly because you are purifying your work, getting better at it, purifying your union, your consciousness as you go, because it's a requirement if you want to move forward.
And you want to live a life on earth, you have to master work and purpose, career, and money. And that's the thing, like, unionism is not about just withdrawing into yourself and stepping into a spiritual bubble where you just don't do anything. It's actually about heaven on earth, so that encompasses all areas of your life. And I noticed this, like, at a certain point, especially people who start this work and they're really focused on their inner selves for so long, eventually God is calling you to start to express and share that. And that definitely happened to me. Like, there was a very clear point on my journey when it was no longer just about me focusing on my inner reality, but it was time for me to focus on mastering my life purpose, healing poverty, and like working, you know, and expressing and sharing your gift with the world. So that's a very important part of this journey, is your relationship with work and like expressing, and you have a gift, you know, that's what your life purpose is, and it's meant to be shared. So and unless you're doing that, A Course in Miracles talks about this, you know, unless you're fulfilling your function, you're not happy. But once you finally stop resisting your function and you embrace it and you start doing it, you just feel amazing. It's like there's no better feeling. Like, what else would you rather be doing with your time than like living your purpose? Just sitting and scrolling and
that really sounds fun for some time,
but fun. Like, it feels bad.
After a while you realize that there is nothing there for you and that you could be doing something more important. And I guess one more point here, like, we are speaking about how important it is as unionists to just have these two parts of your life, like, because you are a spiritual person and you are dedicating your life to healing, doesn't mean you need to, you know, forget
or be in poverty,
right? You don't need to forget work, right? Like, you don't need to fall into these extremes of, like, for example, I do all inner work, but then I cannot pay rent, you know, then you are not going to be supported in doing inner work, right? You need to find a balance, or not only focus on work and forget completely about your spiritual life, right? It's about finding where God is for you and following that feeling. Because it wouldn't feel good if you are just, you know, doing something and forgetting another part of your life, or maybe don't, you know, like only working and forgetting about your union, or things like that. It's about finding balance and God, where He is. And yeah, you find it by following this, this flow. Something that Jeff shared with us in a class is how you need to get into that, fast flow of life to enjoy. Like if you are kind of resisting that flow or like out of it, you are going to feel stuck. But God is moving, is flowing, and the moment you dive in, that like boom, flow of life, of energy, is when your life feels very fresh and new every day. Vibrant, and you want to do things, you are excited for what is to come, what you are doing today, you are seeing progress in your life. Like that is what all of this is about, and that's why you do all the inner work, is to be in that flow, right? Is not to avoid or escape life. That's not the point of inner work, is to live it.
That's
in
not
alignment.
what this work is. Like a place where you just live on your couch in a bundle. And that's not life. Like that's a big part of being a unionist, is like expressing life force and having a relationship with your life. You don't just avoid life. It's a really good point. And I've learned that doing external work and tasks is not separate from your inner healing. That they're the same. And sometimes like once, like I've learned this, that if you're just sitting, like, I don't know, just sitting there trying to heal something, and sometimes the thing you need to do is actually go do the thing. And then you move through it as you do it, and actually helps you to heal it faster and process it faster. But like your whole life is your healing work, and whether you're doing the dishes or you're at work or you're eating or you're cooking or you're resting, like all of that is your spiritual work. There's no separation. And and like the secret to becoming really successful is God. You let God be your source of energy, your source of inspiration, your guide. You just completely live a surrendered life, and God will always guide you in each moment. So,
always good. Do you feel complete here?
I think so.
Perfect. So please join us in the closing prayer and the closing ohms. Father, I accept your word into my heart. I will honor your will in my life and will follow you without hesitation anywhere you ask. I know you guide me into your heart, where I belong. I accept that you are everywhere, and your teaching is in all things. God, I know you provide me clarity in this teaching of union, that I may be forever in union with you.
I accept that you are in me as you are in my brother. I will not deny my brother your word, and will share your teaching with him in any way you ask, and only as you ask. For when I share my salvation with him, I fully claim my salvation and return to you with him. In Christ's name, Amen. Speaking this prayer in your heart means you have accepted that you are on the path of awakening to your true divine nature. This is what it means to be a unionist. Follow the teachings of union with God wherever you find them, and purify your consciousness into perfect union with your Creator. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you in the next Church of Union Sunday sermon and in after church tea time.
Hello again, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the sermon by Jose and Micaela. I like the part when Jose explains how he has a lot of work with the school and with their business, and he's doing everything. When you decide not to resist the flow, you can access to unlimited energy because it comes from God. And at first you could think, okay, I have a lot of work, a lot of projects to do, and I don't know how I'm going to do everything, and I don't know if I have enough time to do everything. But you can trust God, and God is your source, and when you could relax on Him because He knows the perfect way for you, when you flow with Him, it's literally God doing these things, doing the work through you. It's really lighter and funny, and you feel joy inside of you, and you feel joy doing what God guides you to do. And another thing I want to share is that being a unionist is not to stay in a bubble, and you have to do your inner work, and you have to express your life purpose and share it to the world. You have a gift to share with the rest of the world, and your purpose is not the same as other people. When God guides you to do something, it's because He wants to express yourself in your unique way, and as a result of that, you need to receive. And this is the same as we were talking about the flow of life. When you give something, you receive something in return. And because if you don't receive anything, then your life has no purpose, and that's not the truth. When God created you, He created you with your life purpose, with your unique soul design, and with your unique way to express yourself and give you the gift to the world. If you are not receiving in return when you express your creativity or you do your work, and then you have a block inside of you, and you need to heal that block. And that's what the teachings of unions are showing us, that they show you how to heal those blocks and how to relate it to God and how to relate to life. And now I would like to invite you to visit our unionism.org page, where you will find all our past sermons, music, meditations, and card readings. You also be able to donate or tithe to contribute to the Church of Union's message to the world. We also like to invite you to like and subscribe to our Church of Union YouTube channel, where you will find all of our past sermons and other live discussions from our Unionist discussion group on Facebook. And don't forget to activate the bell to receive a notification when we upload a new sermon. Also, directly after our Sunday service, please join us in After Church Tea Time on Facebook, where you could watch a group of Unionists discussing and sharing their own experiences and learnings on this Sunday sermon. We thank you again for joining us. Have a great day and a great week. See you in the next Sunday service.